Welcome to the Thunder Broadcasting Network. This is the St. James Academy Game Day Show. I'm alongside Zachary Wilson with Isaac Woods and Jonathan Mayward here as your football pregame show of the week. But first, let's look at some results from the week for St. James Athletics. First of all, girls volleyball, nice week, 5-0 in their tournament this week. In the cross-country meet, girls, all the top 5 finishers were from St. James, and the winner for the boys, Michael Bianco. So love to see that for St. James. In the Fat Cat tournament, St. James coming off of the Aquinas win in soccer last week. The boys took third in the Fat Cat tournament this week for St. James Academy. And finally, the big winner of the week, St. James Academy football, 44-28. St. James really won by a lot more than the score shows for the Thunder. A dominant victory over the Bishop Stacks. Absolutely crucial win for the Thunder to start season out. Jonathan, you were there broadcasting the game with me. How'd you feel like St. James played in that game against Bishop?
I think it was really good. I think they really showed up with everything they had. It didn't really pulled out. I know there were a few concerns going in. You know, it was just a lot of uncertainty going in. A lot of guys that this was kind of their first season varsity. Obviously, nice to be sure. First year as a St. James quarterback. We were hearing a lot of things, a lot of good things from him coming out of camp. But I think we showed up really well. The team looked really in sync, offense and defensively. It really looked like they were playing together. And I think, like you said, the scoreboard didn't show just how one-sided the game was. St. James kind of gave it away there a little bit at the end, but I really like what I saw, and I think that we're going to be pretty good going forward.
Absolutely. Tyson Beachor, you talked about him a little bit. Really, really nice performance for St. James. 4 touchdowns in that game. Really loved what we saw from Tyson Beachor that game.
All right, Parker Chase, a big key player in that game, 170 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. He was just burning the HDBs left and right. And yeah, Sam Mason, same 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looked really good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Isaac. I think that really was a great showing from 2 star St. James receivers in Sam Mason and Parker Chase. Parker just looked physically dominant out there. He was blowing past defenders with ease, his routes looked nice and crisp. And Sam Mason did a really good job, I know, like you pointed out in the broadcast as well, kind of finding that soft spot in the zone and sitting right down in it. And obviously, the miraculous touchdown catch they had in the end zone. It really kind of capped off the night and what was a great night for both of the up-and-coming receivers that are going to have big seasons for St. James wants to have success this year.
This past week, I was impressed the most by our defensive line, taking advantage of the young VHO line, getting in the backfield, making things hard for Marco to make plays. As I said in last week's show, it was going to be a very pivotal point to the game that our D-line create pressure, and they did just that. They put up 6 sacks. Big defensive players like Max McQuay and young Andrew Moyer making plays in the backfield, really making things difficult for the Stacks.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but the group I was most impressed with, when we talked about the D-line, we talked a little bit about the O-line last week in our show, but this O-line on the St. James side, there have been a lot of question marks, a lot of inexperience, but I personally felt like St. James did a great job on the O-line. I don't know how you guys felt, but I thought they did a really good job. Lots of young strides from them. I thought they were really good.
For sure, you know, they said the game is won in the trenches, and I think the St. James O-line really, you know, like you said, well, hearing from a lot of the players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, coming out of these past few weeks of practice, kind of a theme has been, our offensive line might be a little shaky, but it didn't really look like that in the game on Friday. The run blocking was solid. John Tujek averaging probably upwards of 4 or 5 yards a carry. And that just helps balance out the play. Because when the run game is working, again, the defense has put more guys in the box. And that opens up the pass game a little more. And so I think if they can keep doing their job and giving Tyson time to throw and giving him a clean pocket to throw out of, I mean, we saw his accuracy and his touch in the game on Friday, multiple throws on the move off his back foot. I think good things can happen for the Thunder. They've got to keep playing. They can't take this next game off in the finals.
Absolutely. And, you know, kind of hammering home that point you were talking about there, Jonathan, about the trenches. We just saw Colorado and Nebraska last night. I know you're real excited about how that game went, but Shador Sanders, he had no time to throw the ball in that game. That kind of is what I think Marco Rodriguez looked like Friday night for Bishop Ainge. Just no time to throw the ball. He's a good quarterback, obviously, but there's just nothing there for him every time. Meanwhile, on the St. James side, Tyson Beachor played a great game, and a lot of that's due to his O-line, and obviously his receivers stepped up, like you said.
Yeah, and senior DB Ben Drury was clamps on Terry Jackson all night. A very speedy receiver. Didn't have any deep balls. They were going into short out routes all game, back to back, multiple plays. Yeah, great job by the secondary. Noah quarterback as well, getting an interception and just missing another one. Couldn't catch out. Wasn't very happy about that.
Yeah, you could tell he was not happy about that drop for St. James and lots of those quick outs, like you said there, Isaac. And looking at that game last week, who do we think was our offensive player of the week? I think personally we should go Tyson Beshore, your quarterback for St. James, 4 touchdowns on the week. He looked absolutely spectacular for the Thunder.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people might say, oh, you're thinking quarterback, but quarterback's one of the most difficult position in football, and they are the leader of the offense. And I think especially quarterback that's never played a snap of St. James football comes out and scores 5 touchdowns in the first half. I feel like it's hard to make a case for any other player other than the quarterback lead offensive player of the game.
Yeah, Tyson looked really good. He hit all his deep balls, and yeah, he scrambled when he needed to. Yeah, he settled in that pocket well, mainly going for Parker and safety since they were open all night.
I was really impressed. I think Andrew Moyer on the D line, starting D tackle as a junior, first game ever starting. He played really well, got a couple sacks in there, got a lot of tackles stuffing up the middle.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a small interior on Bishop Gage. We're going to see a lot better interiors this week against Aquinas. That's going to be a real test for St. James. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But Andrew Moore played a really, really good game for St. James. Really impressed. And that D-line as a whole, they all played really good. Really loved what we saw there for St. James.
Yeah, for sure. I think they were not only making plays inside the box, but they were controlling the line of scrimmage really from sideline to sideline. There were multiple plays where D-line would go flying for the flats to make plays. Lots of times where either the outside linebacker or an edge was setting the edge on some of those outside runs, switching them and cut back in, and then allowing the other side or coming over. So I just think it was really, like you said, Zach, really complete game from the defensive line, and that takes a lot of pressure off the secondary. I know we were talking about how Ben Drury had a really good game, but when the D-line isn't giving the quarterback time to throw, that takes a lot of pressure on the secondary. They don't have to come for as long, maybe be a little bit out of position because the quarterback's probably not going to deliver his best throw off balance with guys in the face.
Yeah, as you said, Aiden Drowley and Max Cook really did set that edge. We didn't really see any pitches or passes go for long yardage. Yeah, I really like that and really set that edge.
Yeah, and they had a tough matchup. Marco Rodriguez at quarterback, that's a kid. You saw it on the game. He loves to get outside the pocket, loves to move around, kind of improvise, create something. Not dissimilar for Beshore, actually, but St. James D-line did a much better job really containing Rodriguez outside the pocket than the Bishop D line did against Tyson Beshore for St. James. Certainly was a big factor in the win for the Thunder. And now looking ahead, this next game for St. James against St. Thomas Aquinas, 25-21 victory against Blue Valley West. Very good game last week for St. Thomas Aquinas. St. James obviously just won against Bishop Gage. Last year, St. Thomas Aquinas got the win 21-6. Certainly not St. James' best showing. You hope the offense can produce a lot more fireworks this next week against Aquinas. But St. Thomas Aquinas, that's always a rivalry game. Really high stakes in that one. St. James, they play a little bit different against that Aquinas option game. And that's going to be something to watch for, certainly, in this game.
Yeah, for sure. St. James normally with a 4-2-5 base defense, they like to play out of that nickel, have that extra DB, gives them a little more flexibility in the passing game. Not against Aquinas. In Aquinas, they go to a 4-3. They bring an extra outside linebacker in to help them with run support. They play cover 3 over the top. It's just a little bit different from the normal defense. It's nothing too drastic, but I think that interior defensive line that we were talking about of Moyer and Leo is going to be even more important in stopping those runs up the middle, especially because they like to do. Obviously, they have the trickery with the flex phone offense, the triple option. But a lot of times it's just a quick, maybe handout to the fullback up the middle. And I think it's going to be really important that Moyer and Lero and even Drowning and McClay, who are the ends, are ready for that and can stop that before it gets 6 yards upfield.
Yeah, and as you said, that flex phone very hard to defend. Aquinas has that dominant O-line, usually always spearing right at the D-line, know what they're doing all the time. And yeah, we'll see lots of quarterback rollouts. We've got to set the edge there. We'll be looking for that toss out to run there.
Yeah, I think our front seven should be well prepared to handle this. Most of them, back from last year, know how to defend this. They know what Aquinas does. They'll be ready for the challenge, and I can't wait to see how they play.
And Jonathan touched on it a little bit, but all new linebackers and D tackles for the most part in this game. Not a lot of experience in those positions. That really matters in an option game like this against Aquinas.
Yeah, for sure. That in the box play is going to be extra important, like you said, because if the run game up the middle isn't working, then it's St. James can you can't really predict it, but you can kind of lean on the fact that Aquinas might try and go outside a little more, maybe if the up the middle run is working in the first half, looking to shut off the outside in the second half. But I think even with all this talk about the run, you still do have to be wary of the pass. Even though they don't do it a lot, sometimes they'll catch you with that over the top. They'll lure you to sleep by running it 7 times in a row. A lot of times they like open drives with it to really catch you off guard and say, no, it's Aquinas, they're big, they're looking to stop the run. They try to take your head off with that first play. St. James Bruce is just really going to have to lock in on this rivalry game. I think the team's going to be ready and should be a good one.
Absolutely. That option game you touched on a bit, it is so hard to defend, guys. Triple option, they run some power options, speed options. Sometimes the QB sneaks in and really struggled with that last year, if you remember. But it's such a good offense for a team in the high school level to run because you don't need a lot of talent. It's really about the smarts. So St. James, it's going to be a battle of the mentals out there. It's something really to watch. With those inexperienced guys, that's going to be something that's going to be difficult for St. James. But Aquinas, they have a lot of experienced guys on their team as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the St. James offense plays this week after struggling heavily offensively last year against Aquinas. It'll be interesting to see how they can rebound off last week and see if they can do better. They've got to go against some strong defensive line in Aquinas. Got TBN, Joey Goodnow, and Kylan Curtis, and just see how they can play against them. If the O-line can hold up and create time for Tyson.
Yeah, and I think as long as Tyson's able to just hit his playmakers of Parker Chase, Sept in space, I think the Thunder offense is going to be in good shape. Because we saw what they were able to do last week when you just get them the ball in position to play. So I think as long as that can continue, they're in good shape.
Yeah, that'll be really good to see. Now since we have a gameplay, Sam Beason and Parker Chase might get a little more attention on the defensive side. So Alec Jen, Jr. might be more part of the offense this week. Or John Tujak had a great game. He might get a lot more carries.
Yeah. One thing to watch this game too, Tyson B. Short. He really did pretty much every throw. Nothing really went wrong. We haven't seen him face adversity in that St. James uniform. We know they're fighting at least some of this game against Aquinas. Obviously, we would assume he's capable of handling that. We haven't seen it at this level. So once things start going a little bad for the St. James offense, that's going to be a story to watch. How does this team respond to whatever adversity Aquinas brings? Because you know they're going to have a lot of key plays ready against the St. James area attack. And now on to our predictions for the week, our top 5 games of the week. We did this last week, did not air on the show unfortunately, but here are our picks from last week. We'll be keeping a running tally all season long. So Zach ended up 2-3, the guy that knows the most about high school football here, ending up at 2-3. Not a great look. Jonathan and Isaac both finishing 3-2, and I finished 4-1. So our first game of the week we're looking at here, Blue Valley West taking on Olathe West. Jonathan, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to take Olathe West, coming off a 54-6 win last week. I think they have a really complete team. 54-6 is pretty tough to argue with, so I'm going to go West.
Yeah, I'm going to also go with West. They had offensive and defensive presence last week. Blue Valley West did not have a whole lot of offensive power. I'm going with Olathe West.
I'm also going to go away the West. I think it's a big win. They did win 54-6. We talked about that. Against Shawnee Mission West, frankly, not a good team, but still one to watch. Blue Valley West, they lost 25-21 to Aquinas, so interesting to see how they'll do. Bounce back game for them against Olathe West, but I'm taking away the West.
I like Blue Valley West. I think they can rebound. I think they played a much tougher opponent than Olathe West. Olathe West obviously has great playmakers like Cameron Cruz and Tevin Gasaway, but I like Blue Valley West here. Tate Nagy just too much for the defense.
Yeah. Kansas commit really showed out game 1. Our next game on the schedule here, Shawnee Mission Northwest against Blue Valley Northwest. I'll start in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's the closest game we're picking this week. I'm going to Blue Valley Northwest. They won by 21 against North last week by a really low-scoring close game. Not going to Blue Valley Northwest.
I like Shawnee Mission Northwest here. I feel like they're dominant running attack. Even though Blue Valley Northwest has experience playing Aquinas in their triple option, I think Shawnee Mission Northwest has a really good defense that can deal with Blue Valley Northwest offensive struggles they had last week. They started slow. So I like Northwest here. Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree as well. I'm going to go with Blue Valley Northwest as well. Obviously, that 21-point win over North last week. You got North isn't the greatest team. I still think that's a good enough win. I think the team's good enough, obviously. Big left tackle, they can blow up. Solid offensive line. They usually have to be good athletes, so I'm going to go Blue Valley Northwest in this one.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Blue Valley Northwest. Just that EKL power. Even though Blue Valley North isn't the best, they still are a solid team. I'm going to win with Blue Valley Northwest.
All right, so us three have all agreed on this one. Zach has been the loner on these first two picks. Let's see if that changes here. Biggest game of the week here, Wichita Northwest against Wichita East. Lots of fun square ones in this one. Zach, who do you got?
I have to go with Wichita Northwest here. They fell short against East twice last year, but I think this year they get better than them. They have a lot of returning talent, and they've got a really talented QB room. I think they find a way to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna go Wichita East. You know, like you said, Wichita East did beat them twice last year. I didn't really know that, but I think that doesn't happen for no reason. Also, East coming off 48-0 victory. I think the shutout really speaks to how good the team is as well as playing at 48 points in a high school game in 48 minutes. Pretty impressive feat. So I'm gonna go East.
Yeah, as Johnny just said, that offensive power last week. I'm also going to go with Wichita East in this one. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to agree with Zachary here. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to pick Northwest. Great run game over there. Like you said, really good quarterback room as well. So I'm going Wichita Northwest. This is going to be the big game of the week.
Left side versus right side.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We'll see who gets the best in that one. Next game we're picking here, Washburn Rural against Blue Valley. Blue Valley and EKL, both St. James face off later on in the year. Isaac, who do you got in this one?
I'm going with Washburn Rural. They were just a very good team last year in 6A. Very few losses. And Blue Valley has a very inconsistent offense. I'll go Washburn.
I'm going to go Blue Valley. This might be a little bit of an upset pick here, but I'm going Blue Valley. Brady Westfall receiver, absolute stud over there at Blue Valley. They shut out Blue Valley Southwest last week, so I'm going Blue Valley.
I like Blue Valley here. Washburn Rural, good team last year. They play in a slightly worse conference, and they graduated a lot of talent. I like Blue Valley here. They're up and coming. I like them. Easy.
Yeah, I'm going to leave Isaac around the drive. I'm also going to pick Blue Valley. Like you said, well, the 34-0 victory over Southwest last week. Like Isaac has referred to as well, EKL talent, EKL difficulty is there, and I think they've got that in this one.
Yeah, so let's hope for Isaac that Rural doesn't win that one. Final one here, Leaf Summit North against Mill Valley. This is going to be a big one to watch. Jonathan, who do you got in this battle?
I'm going to take Leaf Summit North. I know you guys didn't see our last week's segment of the show, but we each had to pick a hot take. My hot take was that Mill Valley does not win a state in 5A for the first time in 5 years. So I'm going to stick with that confidence this week. I'm going to pick Leaf Summit North over Mill Valley. Mill Valley won by a touchdown last week over Olathe South, but I just don't think this Mill Valley team is up to the caliber they've had in recent years. So I'm going to pick Leaf Summit North to go with this one.
I agree. This Mill Valley team does not look as good as they have in past years. Their defense gave up 35 points last week, which is a lot for them. I'm going Leaf Summit North.
Jonathan touched on it. We had to make picks last week. My bold prediction was Mill Valley's going to win out, go undefeated, win state. Not feeling great about that after game one, but I got to stick to my pick. I got to go Mill Valley here.
I like Mill Valley here. I think Leaf Summit North, obviously a great power in the Metro, and but I think Mill Valley they're winners. They know how to win. You don't win 5 straight for no reason. I feel like they just start a bit slow in week 1. I think they find a way.
Thank you for watching us here, Week 2, St. James Game Day. Again, we'll see how those predictions go. Thank you for watching today. Now, Jonathan and I are going to head up to the booth next on the Thunder Broadcasting Network, St. James versus St. Thomas Aquinas.